Alright, I'd like to take a second to do a tabletop overview of sorts of a handgun that I've had for a short while. And I haven't had a chance to do a more thorough review. I've been busy, I've been doing some other things. But I just want to at least get a tabletop review out there. I'm going to do a shooting footage review here in the near future, along with a bunch of other firearms that I have planned. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this handgun because I think it's a good choice for you guys out there if you don't happen to like the Glock lineup. Everybody knows the Glock 21 is an excellent 45, but not everybody's a Glock fan. Gotta face it. Not everybody likes the Glock. So this is an alternative, and I honestly believe this gun will give a Glock 21 a run for its money. This is a Springfield Armory XD45 Tactical. This is a full-size XD with a 5-inch barrel. You can see here it's a little bit longer than a standard XD. What I'll do is I'll go over some of the basic specs, go over some of the features. I'll try and keep it short so that way you guys don't get bored and fall asleep in front of the laptop or computer here. Like I said, it's a 45 ACP. Standard magazine capacity is 13 rounds. It's a 5-inch barrel, fully supported ramp. The sights are the typical 3 dots. They are steel sights, and I do believe they are MIM, metal injection molded. So just be aware that if you do tap them out, there's a chance they could break. I've heard of that happening before. I don't know how often that happens, but just keep that in mind if you're going to change sights out. You could crack the sights, shatter the sights. It is what it is. Just a combination of that MIM steel, and from what I understand, it's dovetailed in pretty tight. So any of you guys that have any experience with that, go ahead and chime in. It's just something that I've heard after doing some research with it, and it might not happen a lot. Just keep that in mind. But to continue, the trigger pull, on average, you're sitting right around 6 pounds, give or take. Perfectly good for a trigger pull. It's pretty consistent. A little bit of take up, but the sear engagement's real consistent. The sear reset's real consistent, so no issues there. The slide is that standard forged steel with the melanite finish like they've always done. The recoil system on this thing, you've got that full-length guide rod on there, that one-piece guide rod. No issues there. Standard fare for the XD in this size. The overall length is 8.3 inches. The height is 5.75 inches. And the weight empty is 32 ounces. So it's honestly a pretty light gun. When you think about it, it's a full-size 5-inch gun. Some other features on it. You've got the ambidextrous mag release right here, which is always a nice feature. Of course, you've got the rail system right here, so you can put whatever doodad you want right there. You've got the standard XD safety here. You've got the grip safety here, which some people love, some people hate. I'm indifferent. It does not hinder the operation of the handgun in any way, and I don't notice it when I grip the handgun, so it doesn't bother me to have a grip safety. Standard features, you've got the chamber loaded indicator, which I've always liked on the XD lineup. You can tactile, you can feel in low light whether this thing is loaded, and of course when a striker is cocked, it sticks out the back here. Standard features for an XD. Aftermarket support isn't too bad with this. You can get upgrades for it. Sights, there's some different places you can go if you want to trick out your XD. There's people that support that. Just go on Google and there's just a plethora of sites out there. Depending on what you want to do to your XD, there's a lot of different things you can do. The price of these things, under 500 bucks on average. Depends on the area you're at. Sometimes you see them closer to the $400 mark. It just depends how used they are. If they're used, if they're still new condition, whether it's 40 caliber, 45, whatever, that all comes into play. The area you're at in the country also comes into play. In my area of the country, in Montana, gun prices aren't too bad at all. This thing was under $500. Came with everything, the case, a couple magazines. This thing is used, but it's barely used. It's been sitting a little bit. I got to clean it, but it hasn't been used at all. There's no real finish wear. The internals are still real nice. It's been fired a little bit, but not much. So that kind of concludes my little tabletop of this thing. It's a really balanced handgun, and I can't wait to get some shooting videos out to show you. I like the XD models out there. Some people like them, some people hate them. And there are some myths that surround the XD models that I'll get into in different videos. The myths have been kind of long-standing. Some of them have been dispelled. Some of them are still kind of persistent on the internet. One of them is the XD is a direct copy of the Glock, which that is not the case. And then the other one is the XD has this crazy barrel axis, you know, overbore axis. It's too tall in this area, which is also a myth because that is just not true. Just holding this gun, you can kind of see there's no difference. But I'll go into that stuff in different videos. And you guys can also chime in about that stuff if you'd like. The XDs, don't get me wrong, they're extremely reliable, just like any other name brand gun out there. Whether it's XD, Glock, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, all of these semi-autos out there, for the most part, are going to be just as reliable as one of another. We've reached that point in handgun design where everybody's borrowed design points from everybody else, kind of, and the materials are there, the engineering is there. Pretty much any handgun you pick out there that's from a good quality manufacturer is going to run. Of course, there's some lemons out there, but for the most part, all of these handguns are going to run. So if you haven't looked at one of these and you see one in a shop, pick it up, check it out, mess around with it, and you might like the feel of it. If you can get a chance to shoot one, even better. Try it out, especially if you've never shot an XD before. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, all right, thanks a lot for watching.